Have y'all noticed? No, for real. Have you noticed that somewhere along the way the internet has decided that everybody is rich? Except for us over here because we realistic. No, seriously. According to social media, everybody making 6 figures, investing in 5 different accounts, taking real luxury vacations every 3 months, and somehow buying a house before they're 20. Meanwhile, all our groceries costing whatever they want to cost. Insurance has completely lost its mind. And don't even get me started on buying clothes, shoes, any other things that depreciate with time, because all of it acts like it's got a PhD in cost. So here's what happens. You pay your bills, you keep food in the refrigerator, you might even have a little money left over, and somehow you're still feeling broke. As a licensed psychologist, that's fascinating to me, because one thing our brain is really good at is adapting. We adapt to hard seasons, but we also adapt to better ones, which means that you could be doing significantly better financially than you were doing 2 years ago, and still wake up feeling like you're barely keeping your head above water. And I've lived both versions. There was a time where an unexpected expense could ruin my entire week, not just financially, but emotionally. Can you relate? Now, my relationship with money is completely different, not because life magically became cheap. I wish, but because my habits, my mindset, and honestly, my little nervous system changed. So today we're talking about the signs that you're actually doing well financially, even if it doesn't feel like it, because I got a sneaking suspicion. Some of y'all been calling yourselves broke, which I still do, okay? But what you really are is healing. Now, before we jump in, I need y'all to help me settle something in them comments. Don't worry, commenting is free. If something unexpected costs $500 today, which one are you? A, type I've got it without shame. B, woo, that's gonna stink. Or C, Lord, here we go, help me. Be honest, I promise this is a judgment-free zone. And while you're down there, if you ever looked around and felt like everybody else got the money handbook but you, go ahead and hit that like button. Because around here, we're building a realistically softer, smarter, and more financially secure life without the shame. Now, let's talk about them signs that you're probably actually doing better than you think.
Dr. Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
First up, your emergencies became inconveniences. You know the first sign that you're probably doing better financially than you think. Them emergencies rolling over into inconveniences. And baby, there is a big difference, because there was a time in my life where if a tire blew out, I didn't think, I need a new tire. I was thinking, this is how life falls apart brick by brick. Anybody else, the tire was just a tire, plus the electric bill, plus daycare or family expenses, plus groceries, plus that one subscription you forgot to cancel, plus your brain immediately creating a documentary called The Rise and Fall of My Entire Life. Because when you've experienced financial stress for a long time, your brain stops seeing problems as individual events. It starts treating every unexpected expense like proof that you're unsafe. As a licensed psychologist, we call this catastrophic thinking. Your brain isn't asking, how do I solve this? It's asking, how bad is this about to get? And the wild part, the response doesn't magically disappear just because your bank account got healthier. Sometimes your money heals before your nervous system does. That's why some of us can have an emergency fund and still panic over a car repair, or have savings and still hear ourselves saying, I just can't catch a break. I've been there. But one day I realized something had changed. Something unexpected came up. I paid for it. I was irritated. I complained to my husband a little bit because that's my constitutional and God-given right. But then I moved on with my life. No spirals. No lying awake at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to mentally rearrange my whole budget. No convincing myself I was about to lose everything. And y'all, I used to do this. And y'all, that's when I realized I wasn't just making more money. I was actually thinking differently about it. See, financially healthy people don't avoid emergencies. Nobody. And I mean nobody escapes life. The washing machine don't care if you just paid tuition. Your AC is not going to check that calendar before it quits. Ain't no PTO for the AC. The goal isn't to have a life that never has anything that goes wrong. The goal is to build a life where when one thing goes wrong, it doesn't make everything feel like it's falling apart. So if you've noticed that your first response to a financial surprise is, well, I don't like this, but I'll figure it out. Baby, give yourself some credit. That's not luck. That's progress. 2, you don't need everybody to think that you're rich anymore. Here's another sign, and this one steps on a lot of people's toes. You don't even need everybody to think or know that you're doing well. When I was younger, I thought looking successful was the same thing as being successful. And if you grew up where I did, which I grew up in St. Louis and Memphis, and some places, that was the truth. Some people wore all of their riches, everything that they had. Anybody else experience that? Some people wanted the nice purse, the nice shoes, the expensive dinners, the cute shopping bags. Because if we're honest, sometimes we weren't just buying an item. We were buying the feeling that came with what people thought when they saw the item. And social media, baby, she done put that insecurity on steroids. Now everybody got a luxury vacation and a bag to match. Everybody got had a perfectly organized pantry. A husband surprised him with a brand new luxury SUV. Everybody's home looks like it belongs in a magazine. Meanwhile, somebody watching this and feeling guilty because they packed leftovers for lunch. Let's have a grown truth for a second. Looking rich has gotten a whole lot easier than actually building wealth because credit cards can make almost anybody look successful for about 30 days. Real financial confidence is much quieter. It's renewing that car registration on repeat without stressing. It's saying yes to dinner because you genuinely want to go, not because you're afraid of looking broke. It's buying quality when it makes sense and walking right past something expensive because you simply don't care anymore. One thing that I've noticed after I've gotten a bit older, and honestly after becoming a wife and a mother and walking through some financially stressful seasons, is that my priorities completely shifted. I stopped thinking, what will people think if I don't buy this? And I started asking, what will future Nina think if I do? Now that question there will humble you because future Nina, she likes options. And I also like sleeping at night. And here's what's fascinating psychologically. Research tells us that we're wired for social comparison. Our brains naturally measure ourselves against other people. The problem is social media has us comparing our real life to somebody else's highlight reel. No wonder so many people feel behind. So if you've reached the season where you're okay driving the paid off car, using the older phone, repeating the outfit, saying, girl, I'm good, I don't need it. Don't let the internet convince you that you're losing. You might actually be winning, and you are. Because one of the richest feelings in the world is no longer needing strangers to validate your financial decisions. And you know what I've noticed? One of the biggest differences between the old version of me and the woman I am today is that I've stopped treating my health like something that I'd get around to. Because if I'm honest, there was a season where I thought, I'll schedule that appointment next month. Then next month, then 3 months, then 6 months, and before you know it, you convince yourself that if nothing is terribly wrong, you probably alright, you fine. Anybody relate to that? In my profession, one thing that I know for sure, we're really good at procrastinating at the things that make us feel anxious. Making doctor's appointments are at the top of that list. Not because we don't care, but because finding someone in network, calling the office, waiting on hold, trying to figure out who's accepting new clients and patients, it can feel like another job. Let's be real. And that's exactly why I'm excited that Zocdoc is sponsoring today's video. Zocdoc is a free platform that lets you search and compare in-network doctors, but it's all in one place. Whether you're looking for a primary care physician, an OBGYN, a dermatologist, a therapist, or another specialist, you can read real patient reviews, look through the doctor profiles, and choose the provider that feels right for you. No guessing, no endless phone calls. One thing that I particularly love is that you can see available appointment times before you book. And appointments are often available within 24 to 72 hours. Sometimes even the same day. Where they do that at? Which makes it so much easier to stop putting your health on the back burner. Stop it, Brenda. Because here's the thing. One of the best financial decisions that you can make is taking care of the body that's carrying you through life. Ignoring your health doesn't always save you money. Sometimes it just delays the bill. So if there's an appointment you've been putting off, consider this your sign. Click the link in my description or head over to Zocdoc.com/Dr. Nina to find and instantly book a doctor that's right for you. Your future self will thank you. Now, let's get back into it. 3, your paycheck lasts longer because your emotions aren't spending it first. For a long time, I used to think I had a money problem. For a short time. Turns out I had an emotional regulation problem that kept showing up in my bank account. Ooh, hear me out. Had a good day? Girl, let's celebrate. Pop bottles. Do it. Had a bad day? Girl, you deserve something nice. Long meeting? Click, add to cart. Argument? Click, add to cart. Somebody got on my last nerve. Baby, Prime knew I was coming. Okay? The Amazon driver was so consistent, I almost had him on the Christmas card list. Now don't get me wrong, I wasn't buying yachts. I was buying little things. $20 here, $40 there, a candle, a journal, another journal. We gonna get tired of these journals. Another water bottle that promised to transform me into somebody that could drink 2 gallons a day. And individually, none of them looked like a problem. But together, my emotions were getting paid before my bills ever saw my paycheck. And in my field, I know that this makes perfect sense. Your brain, it releases dopamine before you get the reward. Not after, but before. So the excitement isn't really in opening the package. It's in imagining that the purchase is actually going to make you feel better. That's why half the time when the package shows up and you look at it like, now why did I order this? And what is this? Because the purchase didn't solve the problem. It distracted you from it for a little while. And when I started asking myself one simple question before I checked out, and y'all know I got my 72-hour rule anyway that keeps me from buying stuff that I ain't got no business buying over a certain dollar amount. I had to start asking, am I buying something or am I trying to feel something? That question has saved me more money than any budgeting tip ever has. Because sometimes I didn't need another package. I needed sleep, I needed a walk, I needed to vent, I needed therapy. I needed to close my laptop and realize I was mentally done for the day. Now, let me be clear, and y'all know I always am. I am not anti-treating yourself. Please enjoy your life, buy the shoes, take the trip, order that dessert, but let your joy spend your money, not your wounds. Because one of the biggest signs that you're doing well financially is when that paycheck starts to last longer. Not because you're making dramatically more, but because you're no longer asking your debit card to do your therapist's job. 4, you stop saying yes just because you technically could. Here's another sign, and this is grown woman behavior. You stop confusing I can afford this with it's worth it. Those ain't the same thing. Because there was actually a time where I'd look into my account and think, well, the money is there, so swipe done. No further questions. But somewhere along the way, my definition of afford has changed. Because being able to afford something doesn't just mean you have the money. It means that you can buy it. But hold up. Without stealing peace from the future you. See, every dollar you spend, it has another job that it could have done. It could have stayed in your savings, covered an emergency, helped you take the vacation you've been talking about for 3 years, or simply giving you the freedom to breathe a little easier. And can we talk about these sales for a second? Stores are masters of making us feel like we're saving money, when really, we're just spending less than we originally hoped that we would spend. Girl, it was 40% off. Okay, but it was still 60% on. You still gave them your money. Now, here's the right question I ask myself. If I buy this today, what am I saying no to tomorrow? Now, that question there will humble you because sometimes the answer isn't obvious. You're saying no to flexibility. You're saying no to options. You're saying no to the comfort of knowing that when life starts lifing, you've got a little cushion. And let me tell you something I know a lot of people wish they had been told years ago. Financial freedom isn't just having enough money to say yes to things. It's having enough wisdom to be completely comfortable saying, you know what? I'm going to leave this right here. Not because you can't have it, but because you don't need it. That is a different level of confidence. So if you've noticed yourself walking through the store, picking something up, looking at the price, and then putting it right back on the shelf without feeling deprived, baby, don't overlook that. That is not you missing out. That's you realizing that the freedom to choose feels a whole lot better than the pressure to consume. And that's one of the clearest signs that you're doing better financially than you think. 5, you don't feel rich because your standards grew faster than your income. Can I tell y'all about one of the biggest scams that our brain pulls on us? The moment that life gets better, our brain acts like it's always been this good. Seriously, remember when you said, if I could just make another $20,000 a year, or if I could just get out of this credit card debt, or if I could just have a little bit of money left over after I pay my bills. You remember that? Then it happened. And what did your brain say? Okay, what's next? It didn't throw you a parade. It didn't stop and celebrate. It moved the finish line again and again. Oh, and again. And now class is in session because I'm going to teach you something. There's actually a name for this. It's called Hedonic Adaptation. Humans adapt to improvement incredibly fast. That promotion, normal. That raise, normal. That paid off credit card, normal. That emergency fund you worked so hard to build, now your brain is asking why it isn't bigger. See, your life can improve while your satisfaction can stay exactly the same. Not because you're ungrateful, but because your brain is designed to chase the next thing. That's why social media has become so dangerous in many ways. I mean, it's wonderful too, but you finally reach a goal, somebody posts, pay cash for my dream home at 28. And suddenly all your victories feel very small. Comparison is expensive, not because it costs money, but because it steals joy. I'll never forget something that my grandma used to say. She would say, baby, don't let somebody else's blessings make you overlook your own. And woo, that'll preach by itself. Because a lot of times we're so focused on what we don't have, we forget to notice what we don't worry about anymore. Maybe you're not choosing between groceries or gas anymore. Maybe you finally have health insurance. Maybe you can finally fill your tank without having to look at your checking account first. Maybe you can buy your baby what they need, without wondering which bill you have to pay late. Those things count and those things matter. So now, every now and then, I want you to stop chasing the next milestone long enough to honor the ones that you've already reached. Because if you don't, your life can get better without you ever reverencing that it did. Point 6. You stop confusing peace with boredom. And I purposely saved this one for last because this one right here is the real flex. Not the car, not the purse, not the vacation pictures. Peace. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed that when your life finally gets calm, it almost feels uncomfortable? Be honest. Everything's paid. Nothing dramatic is happening. Nobody's calling with bad news. Your bills are handled. And somehow your brain starts looking around like, okay, so what's about to happen? Anybody? Because if you grew up around financial instability or you spent years living living paycheck to paycheck. Chaos can start to feel normal. You're so used to putting out fires that when there aren't any, your nervous system doesn't even know what to do with itself. And in my line of work, we see this all the time. Your brain gets attached to familiarity, even when familiarity is stressful. That's why some people accidentally create emergencies, overspend, overcommit, take on unnecessary debt, not because they want struggle, but because struggle feels familiar. Healing, now that feels unfamiliar. And unfamiliar can feel just plain boring. But let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way. Boring is expensive's opposite. Boring is the bills getting paid. Boring is that AC staying on and working. Boring is opening up that banking app and not automatically feeling your heart rate and your blood pressure going up. Boring is sleeping through the night. You know, because you're not mentally trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. That's the old folks saying. Baby, boring is a blessing. Nowadays, I love boring. Cherish it. I love opening my calendar and seeing regular doctor's appointments. I love automatic bill payments. Love them. I love routines. I love not having a financial plot twist every other Thursday. Because here's what I've learned. The goal was never to become rich enough to impress people, but the goal was to become stable enough to finally exhale. And if your life feels a little less exciting these days, but a whole lot more peaceful, don't mistake that for settling. That might just be your clearest sign that you're finally building the life that you prayed for. So if nobody told you lately, let me be the one. Stop moving that goalpost every time you make progress. Take a moment to look around, not at what everybody else has, but at what you no longer have to survive. Because maybe you're not ultimately where you want to be. Many of us aren't. But if your emergencies don't shake you up the way that they used to, if your peace is getting louder than your panic, Pamela, and if your money is starting to serve your life instead of controlling it, baby, you're doing better than you think. And that's worth celebrating. Make sure that you comment, share this video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. I love y'all much, and I'll see you in the next one. Dr. Nina signing out. Peace.